How many times do I have to tell you? Never listen to me.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits. So you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared. You've been doing so well.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I've been doing fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to do just okay.
Just okay. Yeah.
Just haven't we all?
Just lukewarm. I'm fine. It's okay.
Yeah. We're talking about Geostorm?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Geostorm!
I have the dumbest fast fact for you. I can't wait. Wait.
Good. Me neither.
I can't wait. Yeah, so what are we doing? We're doing our summary breakdown, our conversation about life and film.
Quite.
Yes, over Geostorm 2017.
Yep.
Jerry Butts, he's back. Our butt
buddy.
I was our butts buddy.
That's right. Back, and I was wrong before in the trailer trash. I know we're not at the expectations part yet, but they don't let him do his accent. I forgot.
I am. Yeah.
You have fast facts about that?
No, I don't have any fast facts.
Okay.
I just have general questions.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
But before that, let me tell you what this movie was about, in case you forgot. Listeners, that's mostly for you, because Russ already watched it. Now, when the network of satellites designed to control the global climate starts to attack Earth, it's a race against the clock for its creator to uncover the real threat before a worldwide geostorm wipes out everything and everyone.
Those are some stakes right there.
Such stakes.
Such stakes.
Yeah, a couple of fillets over here.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, that's fun. So our prognostications and expectations. I'm gonna mash those together.
Yep, I didn't participate because I've already seen this. Other than saying that I thought Jerry Butts was using his real accent for a change.
Nope, that is.
I was wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
It's been 7 years since I watched this movie. Fair enough.
That's fair. That's fine. I think I went with one. I was like, Ed Harris is the bad guy. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Totally nailed it.
And I think I went into like everyone was just gonna end up getting wiped out. I think, right? I can't remember.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you said Jerry Butts was gonna die. You
Yes,
said
right.
like all that stuff, which he should have, but
I was close because he actually, technically should have been dead multiple times.
a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you get to just float through space like that.
Not usually, no.
Not at that speed. I don't think they understood the physics and. Once you get
pretty
moving,
fast.
Yeah, once you get moving, I think you get moving pretty quickly, don't you?
But there's also fire in space. So
Yeah, and sound.
right.
And
So no rules.
Yeah. Vacuum, schmacuum. That's what they said.
Well, it's not a perfect vacuum. So actually,
shut up.
Okay. Yeah. So you were close.
Close enough.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want all the quick info on this thing? This beast?
Yeah, I think so. Did you say it was going to be like a prequel to Greenland? I think that's what we kind of.
I think I was heading towards that way. Or to Day After Tomorrow, where it turns into an Iceland.
Post-apocalyptic is the next thing. Yeah. It's the apocalypse, and then the post part is the next movie.
Yes. Yeah. Man, how we all survive with that.
But anyway, sorry. Quick info. I distracted you.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. It is directed by Dean Devlin. I'm Dean Devlin. Hey, everybody. Daddy Devlin. Yeah. Interesting. He has. He's more of a producer. I'm a producer, baby. It's funny because when you go to IMDb for him, the first thing he's just listed as producer because he's got 41 producing credits. Director, though, he did TV, movie, TV series. Doesn't matter. Geostorm. I think this was his feature debut, which is.
Oh no. Yeah.
The Librarians.
Wow. Why would they give him such a budget?
I don't know. I don't like that's he's buddies with Roland Emmerich, who did like Independence Day, like all those big. He does all the big disaster movies.
Oh right, it did say from the producer of Independence Day.
Well, I think this guy was a producer of Independence Day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, that's kind of a way, produced by So they said it was.
We're all just rich guys here.
Yeah, so from the producer of Independence Day, then it's just that's this guy.
Nice.
But other than that, he's done a couple episodes of TV, and that's it. The Bad Samaritan, and that's it. So Deanie. Who wrote this? Dean Devlin. Because he's multi-hyphenate.
He wrote it too.
Yeah, he's a multi-hyphenate. Come on, man.
Yeah,
producer, director, writer, actor, other things. Yeah, and Paul Guyot.
Yeah, maybe
Gaio. Yeah, he's pretty. I think he's just a buddy. I think these are just buddies because he all the stuff he's produced was all the stuff that Dean Devlin worked on. Writer, he's got 9 things, a lot of TV, Judging Amy, Felicity, couple episodes, The Librarians, which his buddy directed there, and NCIS. Geostorm is the only film he has written.
Really,
and probably the last.
I mean, it's been 8 years, so.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because we'll get to the numbers in a second. So who's in this? Yeah, the numbers are gonna make you cry.
This is gonna make me upset.
Well, not that much, but yeah, I will.
Okay. Great. Yeah, who is in this?
Okay, we got our buddy G Butts.
Jerry.
We've missed you, buddy. We've missed you. He plays
best friend.
He plays Jake Lawson, or what's his accent? Well, let's hold off on that. That's a whole. It's Jake Larson. Jim Sturgess plays Max Lawson, not his son, his brother.
Right. I thought son at first. Because he's got. Wait, can we look that up real quick? How much younger is he than Jerry Butts?
You can look that up, and I'm going to continue on here. Okay, and then we got Abbie Cornish plays Sarah. She's a Secret Service lady who is the soon girlfriend of Max. Alexandra Maria Lara plays Ute Fassbinder. She's the German Ute. She's a Fassbinder. She is the German scientist on the satellite space station there. She's definitely the most important one.
Yeah. I assumed before I saw this, I was like, oh, maybe she's going to be the inside person on the satellite there, right? Doing that stuff. But no,
it's always the Brit. It's always the Brit.
Yeah. By the way, 9 years is the difference. So like plausible?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, totally.
That they're siblings? But like
Jim Sturgess looks so much younger.
So much younger.
Jerry Butts.
We love you, but
I think Jerry Butts just came out looking like he was 50 from the start.
Kinda, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, even in like P.S. I Love You, I feel like he looks like he's not in his 20s or whatever it's supposed to be.
Daniel Wu plays Chang. That's the other scientist who's over in Hong Kong. Buddies with Jim Max there briefly. Yeah. Andy Garcia plays El Presidente of the United States of America. I love Andy Garcia. Ed Harris plays Leonard Deckham. Was he Secretary of State?
Secretary of State. That's it.
Here we go. Okay. Robert Sheehan plays Duncan. That's the Brit space guy. He's the inside man to the plot on the space station. Yeah. He was in the Umbrella Academy. Have you watched that show?
Yeah. Wait, what was he in that?
I'm like 99% sure it's him, but he plays an
Irishman. Oh yeah, he's great in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, that's him.
Huh. Didn't recognize him.
Nope. Who else we got? We got Zazie Beetz plays Dana, the hacker lady from the NSA or something like that. Or what was her title actually?
No, she worked for the State Department also. She was like a hacker for like the State Department.
Yeah. Okay. Something like that. Zazie Beetz great though. She was in Joker. She was in Deadpool too. Yeah. Talitha. How do you pronounce that one? Talitha?
I'd say Talitha. I think I'd say Talitha.
Yeah. Holy Talitha. This is a long name. Talitha Eliana Bateman. I wonder if there's any relation to Jason Bateman.
I was just wondering the same thing.
Either way, she plays Hannah, Jake Larson, daughter. I'm trying to get his accent right. It's a weird one.
It's an accent.
Yeah, it's like they surgically removed his accent, and he's like trying to like get it back.
Yeah, he does sound like he's trying to be Scottish.
Yeah, right. It's like don't be Scottish, but he's like then reverse trying to be Scottish. Like, And then we got Louise Riofrio plays the bikini girl. I brought this person up in particular because when I was digging through my, who's the random extra person in this?
Bikini girl was hilarious. I'm if it's the same bikini girl that I'm thinking.
I think it's the one who's running through Brazil.
The one who the plane falls on and she inexplicably survives. Yeah,
and all the birds fall in. I believe it's her.
Yes.
So I pulled her up and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is her. And I'm reading her bio on IMDb and I started doing a little digging. She's been an actress. All right, I'm just right from IMDb, right? So she's been an actress on television and film since age 4. She has appeared in many stage plays and worked as a model in fashion and auto shows. With an education in physics and astronomy, she worked as a lunar scientist at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. She's world famous for discovering that the speed of light is changing.
Like, incredible.
Yeah, I'm like, are you making this up?
Louise, nice.
Yeah, I discovered that affects everything from cosmology to the size of living cells. She has books about this. She's been invited to appear at many scientific conferences. So I was like, hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations, Louise. If you want to be on the podcast, you.
Yeah. And she's been in just a lot of, looks like bad TV stuff. No, she was in Milk. She played a spectator, church lady in The Hustle. Good old fashioned, secondary extra character. But
so it's like a revert. What's that one with the aliens that we did that had the lab in Russia there with the Brazilian
that was
model
Alien Warfare.
Scientist.
Wasn't it Alien
Warfare? Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So it's a reverse Alien Warfare where they make the Brazilian model be a scientist. In this one, they make a scientist
just make the Brazilian model
bikini girl. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, she's got great credits. She's got credits that I would love to have. She's got a flight attendant, parade princess, cowgirl patron. I want to be that random extra. Guy sitting
discovering the speed of light's changing.
Yeah.
Great credits.
Great credits. I was like, what? How is this? What is this?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there you go. Louise, get it done.
Well, hopefully she has a long career ahead of her as woman under umbrella or.
I'm gonna throw this out there. Hold on. I'm looking at so Abbie Cornish. She plays Sarah, the Secret Service lady. I know of her. I know who she is. Generally, I don't know all the work she's in.
She looks familiar.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. Right. Her IMDb, by the way. Abbie Cornish, also known by her rap name Dusk.
Excuse me?
Is are you ready for this? Is an Australian actress and rapper.
Her American accent was good.
Are you kidding or are you messing with me?
No, way better than Jerry Butts.
Because there was moments where I was like, is she British? Is she? And then I was like, where is this accent? Again, it was like, she was like kind of hiding it. And they're like, we'll fix it in post. And never did.
Good is relative. I mean, good compared to.
Jerry Butts, Scottish, New York, everyday guy accent. Construction worker.
Via Florida, via London.
Via London. Like, what? What is this accent?
Jerry, we love you.
I had no idea about this with Abbie Cornish. I had no idea. Australian rapper. Okay.
Australian rapper Dusk.
I am going to go on a rabbit hole this afternoon on that one.
Yeah. What kind of SoundCloud mostly?
Probably, I guess. I don't know.
But she's part of Australian hip hop group Blades from age 18 to 22.
Love that.
What's happening?
Love this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Cool. Well, maybe she's like an Iggy Azalea character.
Yeah. Yeah. She's on YouTube. There you go. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Huge
if true. So you go. That's who's in this movie. Numbers. Okay. We got numbers. Okay. You ready for this? I
don't think so.
Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Worldwide, this made $220 million.
That's 56,000 and change fanatics.
That's so many. 33 million domestic, 187 international, which makes sense. Sure. And then video did another 7 million on a budget of 120 million.
Incredible.
So I mean, it definitely made money because even if they did 50% of the production budget on marketing, which I remember this being marketed pretty big.
It was pretty widely marketed.
50% is a lot. I think that usually it's like 20 or 30%, right? So
yeah.
But if you did that much, like this movie,
outrageous.
150, 160 million. So they made.
All right. Well, good debut then, Dean.
Yeah. I guess we're getting Geostorm 2.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Even stormier.
Yeah. And 187 million international. This feels like one of those movies that lot of times they do these, like it's like the Transformers movies where the plot and everything else is either so convoluted or just so dumb and explained.
Yeah.
And they purposely do it so like it reaches to a wider audience and it's easier to like for translations and everything.
Yep.
But everyone's like, what? Yeah.
Yep.
So.
That's awesome.
Rotten Tomatoes, 18% critic, 35% audience.
It's wild to me that only 18%. Like this movie's real bad. Like it's fun and stupid and sometimes, but like
real dumb. Yeah. And it's just so I don't know. We'll get there, right? I guess we'll get through it as we go through it.
Yep.
Okay. Do you want any fast facts here?
Fact me, daddy. You know I do.
You got it. Jerry Bruckheimer, we all know him. Jerry, the other Jerry Butts. Mm-hmm. It was brought in to produce. Was it brought in to produce at a very late stage? Not a good sign.
They just ran out of money, probably.
The studio rejected the original cut due to poor reactions from test audiences.
Oh, okay.
Extensive reshoots featuring new material written by Leila Kalogridis. If that's your real name.
That's a Greek name if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. Were helmed by Danny Cannon over 2 weeks for a reported $15 million. Danny Cannon. I'm Danny Cannon. I'm here to reshoot this, and I drink Coors Banquets.
They tried to fix it for only $15 million.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
No, there's no way. Several cast and crew, even extras, noted that lead star producer G. Butts did not appear to know many of his lines.
What?
Really? I'm Jake Larson. I'm Jake Larson.
He did look like he was just kind of like making it up most of the time. And the script is bad enough that you could probably get away with that.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Some of the NASA scenes were filmed at the NASA facility in Nolens, Louisiana.
That's cool.
It's a fun one. Though Deckham, Ed Harris's character, tells his men that the entire line of succession is at the Orlando convention, it would only be necessary to kill 4 people before the Secretary of State would become acting president.
That's right.
The designated survivor theory does not come into play.
That sounds right.
Yeah. That's something like someone just read on a wiki page and like, oh, this would be a cool plot point for a movie, but didn't really think it through.
No. It's like much easier than you think.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. One satellite in the film is called Rock and Rolla. Mm-hmm. Later the film mentions Mount Olympus.
Don't do this.
Jerry Butler appeared in Rock and Rolla in 2008, and Olympus Has Fallen in 2013.
Son of a bitch!
I'm not even sure that's the dumbest one, but
I mean, if you stopped at Rock and Rolla, it would have been okay. Like that is probably a nod to that.
100%. But
Mount Olympus and Olympus Has Fallen, definitely not.
Definitely not. No, that's too much of a stretch.
God damn it.
Vin Diesel was considered for the role of Jake Larson.
What?
Family. He'd be like, I am Groot. I am Groot. Family.
When you're Groot, you're family.
That's right. The word Geostorm is mentioned 20 times.
That's it?
In various forms. In various forms throughout. What is various forms? Various forms. Because they read it on the screen a couple times. That's right. It's
yeah.
Time till Geostorm.
Yeah, and the alarm sounds a few times where it's
Geostorm.
Like, countdown to Geostorm.
Throughout the movie, including the end title. And in the, maybe 21, if you include it in the log line, too.
Yeah, wow. Impressive.
Yeah. When Max is asking Sarah to help him break into the White House server around the 55-minute mark, if you want to go double check this, he says...
I don't need to, because I called it out.
Yeah. He says, it's bigger than you and me. And Dana, the hacker girl, corrects him by saying you and I, but Max was correct in saying me.
That's right. It made me very upset.
Yes. And this is like just a general common sense safety tip. If you're unsure, just remove the you and to see if I or me fits correctly in a sentence, and then you'll.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, if you're the object, it's me.
if you want to get into the technicals of it, but you want to make it really easy, just remove you and see if it makes sense, right? So it's bigger than me. That makes that works.
Well, that's not the safety tip, right?
No.
What's the safety tip?
Oh, I guess I don't know what number this is. I guess this is right?
Yeah, it's 164. I just pulled it up. Yeah.
Yeah, 164. You might have to refresh memory. It's something along the lines of like, don't pretend to be a grammar Nazi, I think.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
Is that what it is?
Don't pretend to be a grammar Nazi if you don't know how grammar works.
That's right. That's right. Just keep your mouth shut. That's a different safety tip for a different time. But
that's right. Perfect.
So that's it. That's all the fast facts I got for you.
Wow, good polls. Good polls. Very impressed, as always.
Yeah. Do you want a Hollywood? I mean, we're moving through here. We're moving along here. Do you want a Hollywood pitch me, motherfucker?
Do I ever? So, doing a half plug here. It's very clearly playing for keeps.
We're both doing half plugs today. I love this.
Ooh, I love a good half plug.
Fired up.
Yep. Playing for keeps. You might remember the soccer movie there.
Soccer rom-com.
Jerry Butts meets The Untouchables, Andy Garcia movie.
The Untouchables. The Untouchables is in like Kevin Costner.
That's right.
That is like hands down one of my favorite films of all time. So
that's right. Robert
tread cautiously here. You tread cautiously here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll tread.
Yeah.
You don't see the immediate connection?
Yeah, I do. Don't be bringing a knife to a gunfight, all right? I'm not going to finish that sentence because it's...
Well, I'll start with playing for keeps.
Yeah.
So in playing for keeps, you may recall Jerry Butts is a bad dad. Just like
this movie.
Yeah, like a horrible dad. In playing for keeps, he's like, washed up soccer player, going to do his thing, and never really amounts to anything other than a failed soccer player who tries to come back and be a soccer coach.
Yeah.
So like going back to the thing that made him famous, just like in this movie where Jerry Butts is like, oh, you know what made me famous? Dutch boy.
That's right. Dutch oven boy.
That's right. So let me go back to that and see if I can fix that while at the same time trying to fix my relationship with my kid.
This is common themes for the movies he's in, huh?
In playing for keeps, he does make more, like they show more of the relationship rebuilding that happens between him and his kid. It's kind of the whole premise of that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
In this one, they don't really show it at all, but at the end, somehow he's also salvaged his relationship with his daughter, and they seem totally fine. It doesn't make any sense.
This movie moves at an astonishing clip. There is no time for any character development or relationship building whatsoever.
None.
Like, are they not? What are they? Are they just talking about relation? No, cut that. Just we need to have them talking about the plot constantly.
Yep. He's got some interesting jobs. So, like in this one, I mean, Dutch Boy is an interesting job making satellites for whatever, but he's also part time making electric car engines for old folks.
Yeah,
which odd gig, just like. Jerry Butts playing for keeps. He's like, oh, I think I'll just go like work for ESPN for a little bit in Connecticut. Like not like, as anything important, just as like a commentator occasionally or whatever. Right?
Did you know that Robert Downey Jr. I think he produced a show or something where they go and replace, or he's doing something where they replace basically this thing he's doing where they replace engines in like muscle cars, old classic muscle cars with like EV stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if he hosted or I don't know what it was, but yeah, he's somehow involved in it.
That's kind of neat. I mean, electric engines are fun to drive.
Like, they are. They just don't get you very far yet.
Yeah. I think that was pretty much it for that one. Other than like the accents are ridiculous. They let Jerry Butts have his own accent in that one and playing for keeps, but he still fucks it up somehow.
And I mean, honestly, Geostorm playing for keeps.
Good call.
Yeah, nailed it.
Buckets, baby. Very good, very good. Now meets The Untouchables. Obvious connection. Andy Garcia is the first obvious.
You're gonna give like the premise of The Untouchables.
Yeah. I mean, so it's about prohibition. It's about Al Capone and the police force that's like trying to catch him, right? Elliot Ness.
Yeah.
The whole putting together a little task force to do a seemingly impossible task,
right?
Just
like this,
our movie, right?
Yeah.
Then, other than Andy Garcia putting together a task force to do an impossible task,
maybe you could get into like maybe the jurisdiction in working outside of the law to get something done.
Yep, I was about to say that. Great call.
Right? Elliot Ness and that gang's a little rogue, right? And they try to and the law is kind of like
the roof. So
yeah.
Yep, great call. Just like this, you're right.
Yep.
Skirting what's maybe professionalism just to get the job done.
Get the job done, right? Corruption. You got a little corruption at the highest levels here, right?
Corruption at the highest levels. That's right. Good call. It goes all the way up to the mayor / Secretary of State.
Yep. Jerry Butts is
happy ending.
Kind of doing maybe like a weird Sean Connery accent too.
Yes. So that was. Did you read that review? Is that where I said that?
No.
So there was a review that I read that said. It's the kind of film in which having a British accent will get you punched in the face, but the fact that Gerard Butler talks like Sean Connery in that weird sequence from The Untouchables, nobody cares.
Who is that reviewer?
It was
Russ Capasso.
Mark Kermode.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So that was one of my connections. Thank you. Good lead in.
No problem.
And the people, I feel like people get their just desserts in both movies too. Like,
yeah,
Secretary of State gets arrested. Al Capone gets arrested and sentenced.
Back when the law actually came for you, but now for doing actually bad things.
Right. Yep. Right. I think I'll have a drink.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, that's my last connection to The Untouchables.
Yeah. Prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
It's the last line of that movie, remember?
That's right. That's right.
And that's all I got.
What a great last line. What a great movie. I might watch that this weekend. Dun 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 dun. Ah, it's so good.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it in a good while either. Maybe I should watch that again.
Oh, that scene where he drops him off the roof. The guy is like,
yeah, so funny.
Yeah, it's so good. He's like, turn it on. You won't do this. You're a lawman. He just pushes him right off. Like, oh shit, Alien, that shit just got real. Kevin Costner.
Classic Kevin Costner, always pushing people off roofs.
Don't insult someone's buddy. That's what you get, and you don't get upset.
That's right. Vengeance. What do you got?
I'm not sure. Let's see what happens here. I'm going. It's a recent film we just did, Persuasion. Actually, the last movie we just did. Persuasion meets Rain Man, the 1988 Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise.
We talked about during Persuasion.
That's right. Did we talk about Rain Man?
Yep.
Oh, we did.
Yep, sure did. That's why I was like, you definitely have Rain Man on the brain. You'll find out when you go to edit that episode. I mean, the one that already came out.
Yeah. Ooh, whoops. A little behind the scenes how the sausage is made. I'm going with Persuasion because there's a lot of persuading going on in this movie for people to do things or not do things. There's a lot
more than in Persuasion.
There's a both movies have a lot of exposition, a lot of talking and updating about where everyone is in terms of what's going on. A lot of it. This movie is a boatload of plot exposition, and it's one of those classic movies where like they show us something and kind of explain it, and then 2 seconds later, have a character just explain that in like a shorter version, and you're like, okay, got it.
Very true.
Persuasion did that quite a bit. Not really a love story in this one so much. There is a distance. There is like a, hey, I haven't seen
between a man and his Dutch boy. Wait, I mean, there's a whole love story with Max and Sarah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that part of the. I guess so. Yeah, but I wouldn't call that like the, But I think the man and his Dutch boy. I think that's better. Yeah, love of, and he separated from her a long time, and he comes back to it. Right, kind of like Persuasion there, where she was away from Wentworth. captain of a ship. There's ships. What are you doing over there?
My headphones switched off.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah. I'm assuming you were saying all kinds of smart stuff. Don't bother saying it. Yeah, just fix it.
No. Yeah, it'll be fine. Just be like, oh yeah, right.
Totally right. Yeah.
So yeah, then there's like the spaceships could be, ships. We got a lot of that going on in Persuasion, right?
Yep. The Royal Navy and Space Navy.
Yeah, exactly. Uncharted waters, international waters. Both have a kind of like a little small crew of people that are kind of milling about doing things.
Yep, that's true.
Now meets.
Yeah, limited character set in both.
Yep, right.
Yeah.
You get some really stupid accidents that happen in both.
Main character.
Yeah, Louisa who bashes her face on a rock floor from jumping for no reason, and this movie just the entire movie. Let's see what else. I think that's it for that one.
Oh, I thought you said stupid accents, not stupid accidents, because there are stupid accents too.
Oh yeah, that too.
Our main character in both, not from where they said they're from.
I don't know where they're from. I don't know where these two are from. Where are the Lawson brothers supposed to be from? Is it like New Jersey, like New York? I
think Florida. I think they were. Well, they're born in the UK, which they point out. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yep.
Well, actually, I was born in the UK, but and then I think it's like somewhere in the South, inexplicably.
So it's a Florida meets UK accent.
I guess so. And Jim Sturgess is British too.
Yeah, no,
which is wild to me.
I don't think anyone is a U.S.
Don't make them be all Americans. Like they can be British. This is an international effort.
Same connection as Persuasion. Don't put Dakota Johnson, who's American, as a British person.
Exactly. Just don't do any of this.
Just don't do accents. Just don't do the accent.
Unless you're us.
Because we know what we're doing. We're trained professionals.
Governor.
Right, governor. Well, I'm going to have to get back up to the Dutch boy. Yeah. All right, meets Rain Man. Because really, all right, this is an easy one. Because really this story, when it comes down to it, is about two brothers, right? Two brothers trying to reconnecting, who've been away from each other for a while, okay? Rain Man, obviously, he didn't know his brother existed. In this one, I think he doesn't want to know his brother exists. They're away for like a long time.
Yep.
Dad kind of lied to him or something about some fishing story, whatever, right?
No, there was no fishing story. He made that up.
Yeah, he made that up just to, it's for the code breaking. Oh my God. Anyways, one brother who's really smart about a lot of stuff, but you wouldn't guess that from the way he presents himself, right? Same with Rain Man. Point. Yeah. So, okay. Rain Man's kind of like it's a road trip movie in a way, right? Yeah, because he goes and picks him up and he drives him back because he can't fly or something, I think like that. And then they stop in Vegas, go make a bunch of money because he can count cards.
Yep. It's like Rain Man's a road trip movie. Yeah. How's this one a road trip movie?
To space. Space trip movie. Okay.
Gotcha.
Driving cars or driving space shuttles, it's the same thing, right?
Tomato, yeah.
And I think that's it. I think it's just really salvaging a relationship between two brothers after a long time.
Yeah. Two brothers.
Yep. One who's kind of annoying with his genius and one who's just kind of, yapping his lip all the time. Right?
Yep.
Jim Sturgess' character, Max, by the way, he is annoyingly, like, constantly breathy, like breathing heavy all the time.
Yes.
And just like, it feels like he's overacting. Like he's heavy breathing, tie loose, and very just like, it's just like,
especially in the first half of the movie, I feel like he like loosens up a little bit, slightly, but like in the beginning, I was like, is he doing a Christian Bale Batman? Why are you like this?
Why is this happening?
Like the opening scene, he's like, Dutch boy, what are you talking about?
Where is the Dutch boy?
Got to stop doing this stuff, Jerry.
IATM-tron, he was shut down this morning and he didn't do his pitch.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Well, RIP. Shut down for good?
Well, I had to reboot him.
Like Dutch Boy.
I like Dutch Boy. Yeah. So yeah, he needed a reboot. He was getting a little sassy. So I was like, let's boot
our
this
little
guy.
Dutch Boy.
Yeah, our little. ITM-tron, aka our little Dutch boy. Yeah, he had to get a reboot into safe mode. So,
oh well, hope to see you soon. Swift recovery.
Yeah, he's slowly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's causing climate change in his reboot.
That sounds right.
Thanks, AI.
Yeah. All right. So is it time for Jared Sums It Up?
Jared Sums It Up.
Thanks for writing that down for me.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. After Earth is ravaged by climate disasters, an international satellite system called Dutch Boy is built to control the weather. But its rogue creator, Jake Larson,
Jake Larson
is ousted and replaced by his brother Max.
Burn.
3 years later, the satellites start causing deadly events instead of preventing them, prompting Jake to return to the space station and uncover a virus planted to turn Dutch Boy into a weapon.
Sweet.
As storms escalate toward a global cataclysm called the Geostorm,
Jesus Christ.
Max discovers that the real villain is U.S. Secretary of State Deckham, who plans to use the system to wipe out political rivals and seize power.
Classic.
So Jake and his team managed to reboot Dutch Boy in a fiery space station showdown, stopping the Geostorm just in time and escaping in dramatic fashion with satellite thrusters and all. I don't know why we really needed that part at the end, but
it adds a little excitement, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Dutch Boy.
Yeah, Dutch Boy. Welcome
it's just
Dutch.
fun to say.
Yeah, it is. Dutch Boy. Okay. I'm realizing we didn't go through the
Nope.
notes here now. Okay.
I was just thinking that too.
Do we want to, or we just wing it?
Yeah, where should we end the beginning? We'll just say it when we get there. How's that?
Yeah, we'll know. It'll be a feeling. I think. So, yeah. So this movie, W Pictures, Skydance, Access Entertainment. Let's get it fired up, and we get the opening from voiceover from a kid, just being like, "Hey, everyone was warned, but no one listened."
A familiar story.
Yeah, very.
Yep. Then we just get a bunch of exposition about extreme weather, wave of destruction across the planet. Yada. None of this sounds familiar at all.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, and then they finally the world came together, which is not something.
Never seen that one.
No, never. I don't think at this point we're definitely not seeing that happen.
No.
So scientists form from 17 different countries or whatever it was, include U.S. and China. I'm like, that's not happening now.
Yeah. Led by U.S. and China together.
Yeah. Huh. Timely. Huh. This movie's good at predicting only one thing.
Climate catastrophe?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was my daddy.
Yeah. So just
nice.
tons of it. So this movie starts with exposition and it just never ends with it. It's just
That's
exposition. Right. Every scene is just exposition constantly. Like I said earlier, just like if you missed it, it'll remind you 2 seconds later what was just said.
Yep. And infrequent narration from the daughter here, like this one. Like they do that every now and then. When they're like, can we just get somebody to do exposition on screen? They're like, I think we've had enough of that lately.
Yeah,
we'll just make the daughter do narration instead.
It's like, why?
Good.
So then we get a title card, Geostorm, Washington, D.C., and we are coming in hot to what was in the trailer.
Yep. Jake gets out of his cab.
Jake Larson coming into.
Jake Larson.
Yeah, he's coming into the Senate committee hearing.
I do appreciate the mild amount of character setup they do here. Like he meets the security guy outside the Senate floor, and he's like, "Hey, bud, wait, the Jake Lawson? Thanks for saving the world, man. Like, if you ever need anything, hit me up." And Jake's like, "Can I get your tie, bro?"
Yeah, he just looks down at his tie and is like, "All right," comes on in. Yeah. Joke from the trailer: he's late because he's sorry, I just literally flew in from space. Yeah, so then there's the Senate committee hearing here going on, and it's basically just the old politics versus scientists kind of move, and
we've seen this 100 times.
We're seeing it all crumble in front of us now.
Very Jurassic Park.
Yes. But the Senate guy from Virginia there, he's like, well, U.S. is basically going to take this thing over, yada, yada. And
well, no, we're untaking it over. We're handing it over to the UN in 3 weeks.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Right.
So they're all pissed about that.
Jake is like, hey, this is built by an international team. This was a team effort, not just the U.S. We didn't just do this thing. So,
yep. We get a little bit of backstory on Jake of like, he's a hothead. He like punched an inspector in the face. And they're like, he's like, I saved the inspector's life. And you're like, I don't think so.
It's like the worst character exposition like of all time. And it's like all up front here, just being, okay, we got it. He's a wild gun. He's rogue. He's you know.
Which actually, like, that was kind of his character in Playing for Keeps too. Didn't he punch a bunch of people in the face in Playing for Keeps?
Yeah. This is just, it's this. You think this
Scary.
is like maybe a prequel? Maybe he's got another family, another kid somewhere else, and
definitely,
yeah, totally, okay. But he's actually dead from P.S. I Love You.
That's right. I thought you were saying he was actually dead from that Jack Efron one where he talks to the ghost boy.
Oh. Jesus. So yeah, basically he's just getting shit on, and then he goes on this good old fashioned rant about politics and the committee and credit and all this sort of stuff. It's the things that, you know, the very heavy handed commentary, I guess. Somebody wants to say something about like this whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah. And he saved the world because he turned it on before he got approval, and like that's the whole thing. So like, yeah. They're basically like, all right, well, this project's going to go on without you or not. We got a bucket of smart people up there, so like, we don't really need you. No. So meeting adjourned.
Yeah, and we got someone else taking it over, and we find out it's Max, his brother, who I thought it was his son, but it's his bro. And yeah, this is when Max comes in, just heavy breathing right off the bat, and just being like, "Yeah, you're fired.
Can't fix it this time."
But he's also got a weird accent too. It's like, and he's always leaning in. He's always like, leaning in.
He is always leaning in. Right? Maybe it should be a posture thing. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It's like always intense. It's like, Jim, settle down there. Max, whatever your name is. Simmer Jim. But he's like, yeah, it's like a New York, New Jersey thing. I don't know.
There were a couple of times where I was like, is that like a Boston accent that he's trying to do?
Yeah, like we gotta go to. You're sorry, Jake, you're fired. You know, but you know.
Yeah. At one point, I thought the president's name was Palmer. But it is Palma, but the way that he says it, he's like Palma, you know,
Palma, you know. It's like, who taught this? All right, so title card. 3 years later, we're in the Afghanistan desert out there.
From the trailer.
And I forgot, we got a great location coming up. A little flashback location. Can't wait to say it.
Afghanistan?
Nope, you'll know it. You'll know when you hear it. And just kind of kicking things off of like, oh, something's going wrong. We get this same thing from the trailer. It's just the frozen town in Afghanistan. There's snow there. People froze to death.
Hilarious.
Yeah, UN's rolling through.
Yeah.
Then we come back to the White House, and we've got Max and Sarah there. The rapper Dusk from Australia,
flirting it up.
They're obviously an item, but she's like, "Hey, I'm at my post. Like, you can't be. You gotta get out of here, sir." Yeah.
She's like, "Don't make me shoot you."
Yeah. Okay.
Don't make me shoot you. I'll be home by 7. Love you. He's like, "What?" So then we cut to the briefing room where they're watching the footage from Afghanistan.
Again, I think this is kind of important because this is where you get the rest of the characters here. You get Ed Harrison here, you get the Prez, and you kind of see what everyone's plan is and the ideas. They're reviewing the footage from the UN stuff. And they're like, Dutch boy caused it.
Serious malfunction. Got to shut it all down until we figure out what's wrong. And they're like, it's an election year. We can't shut it down.
Right.
Of course it is.
And of course, Max speaks up and is breathy, and he's like, guys, millions of people are going to die. People are dying, you know? People are dying. You can't just, it's not about politics. And it's like, Max, buddy, welcome to Washington. It is about politics. So,
yeah. And he's like, in 2 weeks, we're turning this over to the UN. We can't give them damaged goods.
Right.
We're not sending a team of international people. We don't have time for that. We're sending one man, and I think you know who that is.
It's like,
and you're like, what? What a waste of resources. Like, why would you do that?
One man, like, on this giant space shuttle that's got to, like, cost an unfathomable amount of money to send people.
Yeah, it's millions of dollars when you launch something into space. It costs a lot of money.
Oh, my God.
Maybe billions. I don't know. It's freaking expensive.
So then we at the post meeting, Ed Harris. Ed Harris is just we established that relationship of Ed Harris.
I was gonna say, this kind of sets up later. Like they're like, oh, like you find out Ed Harris, Secretary Deckham here, handpicked Jake.
Yes.
Not Jake, Max.
Yeah.
And presumably Jake also. Like this whole team is like very carefully constructed by Deckham in order to like achieve their goal here.
Yeah.
So he's a fall guy.
It's this big setup. Like the plot in this movie like gets to a point where it's so convoluted and so it's just like what?
Yeah.
Like it's convoluted on purpose to make it seem like it's like a really like
it's like smart. And you're like, why would you do that?
No, this is all just really stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like the Succession thing where he's like, oh, I know if we kill everyone in line ahead of me, then I can be president. And you're like, it's only a few people. You don't have to do.
You don't have to go that far. Yeah, this isn't. You don't have to destroy half the planet to get to this. Like now we cut to space and we get the International Space Station here.
Yep, the team intro, right?
Yeah, they're just doing stuff a little bit, right? Got a bunch of crew doing checks, yada yada yada. And then, this is important because we have this guy, what we think is doing something really super sketchy to one of the satellites.
Right. Looks like sabotage.
Sabotage. And then he's like walking around sweating a lot, looking real nervous.
Yep.
Do we have is that a safety tip somewhere? If you're doing something sketchy, don't look nervous.
Yeah. No, I think you're totally right.
If you're like
also pretty far down there.
I think it's
if 176. If you're doing something sketchy, act like you belong.
Yeah, that's it. with maybe an underscore of like, don't sweat so much. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Act like you belong. It's in parentheses actually. It's a parenthetical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Act like you belong. Don't be sweaty.
Don't sweat the sketchy stuff. So yeah, he's dropping some stuff in a locker, and then we get the French dude kind of keep an eye on him. So it's like a little misdirection of what's happening here.
Don't sketch the sweaty stuff. But.
Don't sketch the sweaty. That's a sub parenthetical to the parenthetical.
That's right.
I'm tired. And then this guy, he gets trapped in like a little airlock thing, and then things open, he gets sucked out into space. Whoopsie, that problem solved. So,
which is apparently the easiest way to kill people on Dutch Boy. Because it happens more than once.
Just shoot him into space.
Mm-hmm. Just open the door.
It's deadly out there.
Yeah. You don't want to go outside.
No. You don't want to touch grass out there. So then we're in Florida, Cocoa Beach, Florida here. We'll kind of gloss through this stuff, but this is where not so much, because this is where basically we get all the exposition about Jake's current life. He's been 3 years, yada, yada. We meet his daughter.
Max is there being, she's like complaining, like, you're supposed to be in my life, but shit happens, I guess, right?
Yeah, she's obviously a smarty pants too. There's cool cars. They had a secret code when they were kids. That'll come back later.
Yep.
He's building EV engines for muscle cars for old people. Drinks Coors Light.
Drinking Coors Light.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also where I think you're right. This is some kind of like alternate universe / prequel to Playing for Keeps, because Max accuses him and says, other than your daughter and your soccer club,
Yep.
Dutch Boy was all you ever cared about.
Yep.
So you're totally right. Which is a ridiculous thing for one American to say to another American.
That's right. That's right. That is not even
like, how did that get in the script? Like,
yeah, that's what happens when you put a Scottish guy and an English guy together. Gotta talk about soccer.
All you care about is your soccer club.
Yeah.
You're like, no, people don't know what that means in Florida.
Yeah. Soccer club. What? What you talking about? Soccer club. So then basically Max persuades him to join, to just go by himself to go solve problems in space.
Persuasions him?
Yeah. But yeah, there's dead Afghans and something's wrong with Dutch Boy. Got to go to resolve it, right?
Yep.
But he's doing some hard selling on this. But he's I love how he's like, oh, so you don't care, huh? Oh, so you don't care no more? And then behind him, a rocket's taking off, and he's like, yeah, you care. Yeah, I know you care. Yeah, you care. Jake Lawson.
You and your soccer club.
Yeah, you and your soccer club. You and your soccer mates. I mean, boys, you care. Like, I think that's it. And I wrote down these accents are killing me. They're absolutely killing me. So
really bad.
And then at the last scene, he's just like, yeah, I'm in. All right.
It's like, I'll do it.
All right.
I'll do it as long as I don't have to report to you, which he's going to. So
he's going to have to. Yeah, we all know that. So now we're over in the Hong Kong.
A bunch.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah.
So like we get introduced to Chang briefly in Hong Kong. He doesn't matter really at all.
No, he
says one important word later.
He starts to uncover that there might be something sketchy going on with everything. But you don't need him because this would have happened to Max anyways, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. Because he gets locked down, just about getting locked out of the system, and Max would have gotten locked down and been like, what the hell's going on here? And still would have gone down the path of like, okay.
Yep. Totally relevant.
Bad stuff happens in Hong Kong. EVs are running everywhere. Let's go. So
lava explodes. It's a whole thing.
I do love how I do want to call it though. I love how the scene, like the ground like heats up a lot, and he like drops his eggs, and the eggs start immediately cooking.
Oh yeah.
If it was that hot, I feel like you would know that. Like he's sweating, but it's like,
yeah. The soles of your shoes would probably start to melt a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Then we have like a whole scene with again Jake and his daughter talking about like more backstory of like, where are you going? You're going to space. Cool. Yeah. Make sure you come back. He's like, I promise.
I promise. Yeah.
I'm Jake Larson.
Don't worry, kid. You brought a knife to a gunfight.
That's right.
I'm untouchable. I'll be back.
They said it.
He said it. Oh no. No Geostorm's gonna stop me. Okay. Enough of that shenanigans.
Yeah, we could skip the part where he goes to space. That's boring.
Did you notice that when they sent him off to space that they that scene from the trailer, the guy's like, "Hey, don't touch anything." They cut that. That wasn't in the final movie there.
Good. The one thing they cut that
I know. I was gonna say the one
way more,
way more. And then we just get the epicness of the space station. The rocket flying up there, Dutch boy hangar. We meet the German lady.
Ute Fassbender. No relation.
Nope. He's a fast, not a fist. But he's immediately being a dick.
She's a fast too.
I guess. He's immediately being a dick and just being like, pointing out all the shit that's wrong. He's like, who's the chief engineer on this ship? And she's like, I am. I'm like, oops.
That's me.
It's me.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry about everything being out of sorts here. One someone died this week.
Yeah. When I was on the cruise. Yeah. Amerikanski via UK via Florida.
Yeah. Well, and that's where we get intro to the team next. And they're like, oh, great, an American. And he's like, well, actually, me and my brother were born in the UK before we immigrated to
Yeah.
No one cares.
No one cares about this. Of all the things to do exposition about, like...
Yeah. Cut that. Cut all this.
That's why we're like, shocker.
Yep. And like people think Hong Kong was the only important part here is like they think Hong Kong was a gas leak and unrelated to Dutch Boy. But like really the only incident we have is Afghanistan and then that guy mysteriously dying, but like that was an accident. So nothing really bad happened. And he's like, no, all these things are related. He's like insisting immediately without any evidence. All these things are related for sure.
That's what like a lot of this movie happens too. Like there's zero evidence, but it just happens to be the right thing to like that, works out. He's like, I don't have any evidence, but this is what's happening.
However,
thank God my intuition,
Yep.
Yeah, don't let the facts interfere with a good story, right?
Yep, exactly. And he introduced himself as the famous Jake Larson.
Jake Larson.
They're all like, oh, okay, cool. Who cares?
Cowboy.
Then we cut back to...
Well, then it's like
Sarah and Max?
Yeah, there's like a lot of small relationship building between Max and Sarah, and then he gets a phone call from Chang, and he's like, and this is just where he's like, hey, man, I think something else is fishy here. And then... Yeah, and he's like, and there's a bunch of exposition from Chang about like, this could be cataclysmic. This could lead to a geostorm. And Max is like, what's that? He's like, I don't even know what that is. What is that? Because his accent keeps changing. And then we explain what a geostorm is so the entire audience knows it's bad.
It's not great.
Nope. And then Chang gets some guys trying to find him there, and they speak some language. Apparently, that's not a real language. I guess I don't know. It's very strange. I thought it was Russian, but it's not. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was English.
No, and there's like subtitles in the bottom, and they break into Chang's office, and he goes running. He like hides, and they're like searching for all this stuff, whatever. There's a trivia on IMDb that said it was like, oh, this isn't like an actual language.
Oh my God.
Love that.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, they kind of skip a bunch more, go to back to Dutch Boy, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, pretty much.
Even that, actually, we should skip that too, because that's when they're like, oh, this is like the rock and roll of satellite is the one that caused Afghanistan. And you're like, okay, who cares? There's 1,000 of them. We got to scan all of them. Okay, great. There's so much of this movie where they're like, all right, well, we have to go and like read a 1,000-page book right now. Like, okay, don't show me that.
Yeah, let's that. But then we're back in DC with Max and the hacker lady, Zazie Beetz' character there, Dana. That's important because she's a pretty key, and it's mostly like she's doing like some hacking stuff. I'm hacking, Yeah. Oh, IP addresses are, and
this is when they say Mount Olympus.
Yeah, this is a movie where like they say just a lot of, I think, general terms and stuff like really fast to make it feel like it's like what they're doing is smart, but also doing that stuff is not all that interesting.
Nope, not at all. But the only important parts, like they uncover you definitely don't have access anymore, and it was definitely intentional.
Boom.
Somebody hacked in or whatever. Who cares?
Let's go. Right.
Yep.
We get the exposition now. More exposition about it. They do a Zoom. They do an international space Zoom video chat here, and a bunch of exposition about their dead parents. And
yep.
Yeah, it's just over the top.
Yep.
And then they get the satellite was over Hong Kong that freaked out, and they get it inside the hangar, and then it just starts freaking out like a wild animal and like swinging around and like smashing into stuff and just smashes. And they're like, oh, we got to get the drives out of that thing. And they're like, oh, all the drives are cooked. And like,
yep.
Well, that just sucks.
Except for this one that got stuck outside the space station somehow. And you're like, why?
Yeah. Wait, there's a panel outside. Or the French guy, he's like, oh, there's a panel outside. I think there's a drive inside the panel. Mm-hmm. Oui.
Wait, is it the French guy or is it the guy from Mexico?
Oh,
I think it's the guy from Mexico.
Oh, it's the guy. I can't do that one.
Yeah, France, Mexico, tomato.
Tomato.
But again, that doesn't really matter either. Max gets a call from Chang back at home in DC, and he's like, hey man, I figured it all out. Let's meet at that bar from college. And you're like, oh, something to move the plot along? I don't think we gotten far enough into the movie for that yet.
Nope.
And sure enough, I mean, we don't get any of that yet. Then we have to go back to the space station and do a bunch more random shit that really doesn't matter, right?
Well, they go to get the drive, and him and Fistbender there, they go out, and he's like more mansplaining about how the cables and stuff. Where he's like, no, these are removable cables. See, watch this, and he grabs the panel that has a drive in it, and then there's just like this crazy moment of his suit malfunctioning and just shooting him across solar panel. He's dead. Basically, he's dead. Yeah. He's dead.
Super dead.
Mega dead. And then he gets back inside, and Fistbender there is like, he's like, boom, I got the drive though. But then he hides it, and the other crew comes in. He's like, yeah, I didn't get it. And she looks at him. They share a look, and he's like, 2 seconds later, he's like,
someone tried to kill us.
Yeah, my suit didn't malfunction. Someone hacked into it or did something to it, So.
Yep. And then they do a lot of this too. So it's like not really important, but this comes up in the scene like in a minute anyway, is like there's all these weird secret things that he built into the space station when he was building it that he's like, oh yeah, he's like, well, they may have deleted the logs, but they didn't delete the secret logs
secret archive logs. Like
what? Like, why?
there's a lot of like stuff that only I know about, or stuff that only one person knows about, or stuff that one person has, and it's like, this is convenient. Like
Yep. Exactly.
So then, they go digging through it, and like, there's only one person who have access to this, and it just keeps moving things along. And then we get to Chang meeting up with our rapper and well,
about to until government guy pushes him in front of a car.
Yikes! Whoopsies!
It's wicked funny.
It's hilarious, and he just gets tumble tossed. And then, the car takes off, and then Chang's dead. And he says, what does he say to him? He says Zeus. Right.
Because Project Zeus is a thing that they don't really explain later, but is important.
It's just important. Oh, my God.
So then we have another conference with Max and Jake. And Jake does a bunch of code. Hey, Max, we don't walk out on each other. It's the unspoken code between brothers. Like,
wink.
Remember when we went fishing and I lost the phone? You're like, what?
So he tells his whole story, his long story about fishing with their dad, whatever, with family, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'd rather catch no fish and spend time with family than catch 120 alone. Arr.
It's so dumb.
And then I love how like Max leaves the room and this random guy just like, what was that all about? It's the most decent conversation I've had in years.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The guy's like, all right. So,
yeah. And then somehow Max figures it out immediately because I guess they did have a secret code when they were kids. And he's like, Dana, I need you to do something on this tape. Like, it's like every ninth word. It's like this it's the most convoluted code. It's really silly. And he's like, it's all about the cell phone number and then this and that. And she's like, wait a second. And she like hacks on the computer for like 2 minutes and somehow rearranges the entire video. So it's Jake saying, proof of sabotage at the highest level of government. Trust no one. Which you're like, he didn't say any of those words. Like, what are you talking about? And that's when Max is like, Project Zeus. And you're like, what? The fuck is this?
So flimsy. I love that. That's so good.
Right around halfway, more or less.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, Project Zeus sounds like a brospiracy," which is pretty great. But can't hack that stuff without White House credentials. And he's like, "I don't know anyone." And she's like, "Yeah, you do."
Don't we though?
Oh my goodness! And then so we cut to Sarah's house, and it sounds like someone's breaking in, which this makes no sense. She turn the lights on so she doesn't get freaked out. Like
that's right. Instead of smashing glass everywhere.
Yeah, smashing glass everywhere, like in the dark in her apartment, and she pulls a gun on Dana there, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And then Max shows up, and it doesn't look good. It's a weird setup. Like, cut this, change this.
Yep, the whole scene. And it's from the trailer. You're asking me to commit a crime. I gotta break into the White House server and get files and yada. Who cares?
I love how she explains again. We do this every scene. Explains the entire plot to the moment from the things we just went through. Right? Explains everything for us. And then I love how she's like, and you're telling me she says all the bad stuff that's gonna happen. She's like, all right, this one time though. Like,
yep.
Like you don't get multiple times. You get one time to do something this terrible. Like,
yeah. There is no light treason. It's just treason.
I think you commit treason once and that's it, right? I mean, you could do it multiple times, I guess, but I don't know. Once is enough.
It's so dumb. And speaking of dumb, then we go back to the satellite. And we're learning about why that guy, like what happened to that guy. They're like, wait a second. That guy who fell out the airlock, he must have figured it out, and then they killed him.
Yep. All right, cool. Next scene.
Yep. Yep. Well, except for then the guy from Mexico figures it out and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And they're like, trying to solve murder here /
he pulls the gun on him. Yeah, that's the French guy. Yeah. That guy's French. The other guy, the guy with the mustache is Mexico. But yeah,
okay. Tomato. He speaks Spanish at them. This guy. So I assumed he was the guy from Mexico.
Yeah, the French flag on him. The guy who pulls the gun on him in the locker room. He's got the French. Yeah. He's got the French flag on his arm. So yeah, but
sure it wasn't the Mexico flag?
I don't know. It was red, blue, white, and red, or whatever across the bar.
I thought it was green, white, and red. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Maybe it was. I don't know. Like, because I also would be surprised because like the accents and the languages are like.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't
matter. Like
it's wildly inconsistent.
Yeah. Like, we could drive ourselves.
Got a Mexican guy playing a French guy.
We could probably drive ourselves mad trying to figure out this movie. It's like trying to figure out the stupidity of this movie.
Yeah, that's right.
But yes, he's like, "What are you doing in here?" And then he's like, "Oh, I actually know where he hid all of his stuff, and I'm suspicious too." And he brings him to the real locker.
You're right. This is definitely the French guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get the stuff, and then we're off. The plot's continuing to move.
Yep.
And then we come back to Sarah's Secret Service lady house, and cool, we figure out we get into Project Zeus, and we find out it's a simulation for various malfunctions, I guess, with the satellites and what damage it would cause in different areas. And this is basically to target all of specific enemies of the pod.
And it all ends the same way.
Yeah.
In a geostorm.
Storm. Uh-huh. Oh man, someone's weaponized Dutch boy. Thanks, Max.
Thanks. So helpful.
And we got another Zoom call with Jake. Yeah.
They're using Dutch boy to target the cities all over the world. It doesn't matter.
They're disguising the accident. They're disguising their plan like accidents, Jake. You gotta believe me, Jake.
He's like, I saved the world, and what do people do with it? Turn it into a gun.
Goddamn kids.
Yeah, what did you expect? Yeah. It's always a gun.
So the plan is to reboot Dutch Boy, reboot ITM-Tron, flush out the virus, boot it up in safe mode. Right?
Yep.
Seems pretty straight.
The whole thing. And then Jake's like, all right, don't do anything stupid, Max. And Max immediately leaves to do something stupid.
This isn't a Chromebook. You can't just push a power button on. How much did Google pay for that little spoken product placement?
This isn't Microsoft Copilot.
You can't just
which you say 100 times in a second.
So much exposition. And then, of course, there's a backdoor only the president's got the code and knows about. Of course.
Yep. So cut to the president.
So much plot happening constantly. This movie, by the way, I just want to iterate how this movie moves along like a something in a blender. It just doesn't stop with exposition and just that's it.
Yeah. So. We should have skipped way more. We're not skipping enough.
No, we're not. It's just
because
so much.
Like every now and then there's an important detail that's like, all right, well, that's going to come back later.
Yeah. Well, anyways, long story short, they need to steal the codes from the president, and Max is like, honey, you got to help me. You got to trust me, babe. You trust me, babe. We got to kidnap the president. No. It's the second bad thing you've asked me to do.
He's like, we can't kidnap the president here. Let's do it somewhere else.
I got a plan.
Got it.
All right. So then we got chaos happening back in the Dutch Boy control room. Then we cut to absolute chaos. I actually named this section Time for Chaos.
This is when like the storms start happening, right? It's like the giant hail over Tokyo, right?
Yeah, frozen beachgoers in Brazil. We got our Luisa Rio de Frio there running from the storm. Yep. We got the sats are firing up, satellites are firing up to create chaos. And then Jake is like, oh, I got an idea. Let's send out all the replacement satellites because they'll smash into the other ones and that'll shut them offline.
Yeah. And everyone's like, what?
Like, of course. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, you're the guy who knows.
Speak Scottish, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, it just cuts back and forth between the plane crashing, birds falling, frozen beach, this woman running, and them deploying these satellites, and that's it. And then we get an alert, and it's Geostorm.
Yep. This is when we start the countdown. Yes. Time to Geostorm, 1 hour and 30 minutes, thankfully.
So then we go to the president's rally here, and
at Microsoft Copilot Stadium.
Yeah, in Orlando, Florida. Mm-hmm. And basically, what we learn here is Max opens up his mobile video game, his Steam Deck there, and it's like, yep. How many scenarios down to Geostorm? One scenario. I'm like, what does that mean? What is that?
God.
I was like, what does that mean? What is that?
Yeah, nothing.
But he pinpoints the next location for this storm to happen is Orlando, Florida. Do you see how this all coming together?
Gasp.
I'm surprised you didn't go with this line. I wrote it down when he's talking to Ed Harris, and Ed Harris is like, doesn't he say, "Where's your daddy"?
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah. Because Max had lied and said, like, oh, Mr. President, like, my dad really wants to meet you at the event. Can we, hang out a little bit afterwards? And he's like, of course, bring him by.
Where's your daddy?
Deckham's like, where's your daddy, boy? I know everything about you, including your dead parents.
So much exposition. And then there's and then he's telling...
Max's like, I got to let you in on a secret.
Geostorm, baby. And then he's like, you gotta be careful, man. And then he brings up Project Zeus, which rattles Harris. And he's like, oh, Deckham here. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he's like, son, there are no kill codes. He's the kill code, which doesn't make any sense to do, but whatever.
It's a combination of his face and his fingers. And you're like,
biometrics.
Oh, okay,
cool. Right. So he just has to look at his phone to open it up.
Yep.
Great.
Pretty much.
So much
exposition. And then back to Dutch Boy. And they're like, when bad goes to worse, they're like, self-destruct sequence initiated. And you're like, wait, what? And I love, somebody's like, why would you make it self-destruct? And he's like, well, in case it fell down to earth. That way it explodes before it hurts people. And you're like, I think it would still hurt people.
If that thing explodes, I think you have bigger problems.
Yeah. So we got to evacuate Dutch Boy now. Everybody to the shuttle.
Oh my God. And it starts exploding, which makes no sense, but it does. So
and he starts punching people, which he's good at, apparently.
Yeah, he finds Duncan and he starts kicking his ass. And he's like, you're the only one who could have pulled this off. You know?
Yep.
And Duncan pulls a gun on him. And it's like, what? And he's like, hey, man. He's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, I'll be rich. And we're only saving the good parts. And millions will die. And he's like, one of the millions is my daughter. And he's like, oh.
I love it. He's like, you know how much scientists get paid? Take that times 1,000.
You're the brain. You're up in space? What are you doing up in space?
All scientists get paid the same.
Why are you up in space?
I don't know.
Oh my god! So Lawson kicks his ass, shoots out a window, gets behind the thing, and Duncan, the second kill, space 2, human 0.
That's right. Yeah, unbelievably, there should be way more deaths.
Should be, but there's not. Then we're back at the DNC convention here. The convention is not DNC, but it's convention there.
No, it is the DNC. I think it is the DNC.
Oh, it was, because it says on the top, right?
Yeah. And then I love Deckham's like, hey, Max, Project Zeus, did Chang tell you anything else? And he was like, wait a second. I didn't tell you Chang said that.
Yeah, like how he's opening the door. It's almost as if he's saying it out loud. He's like, wait, oh, that's not wrong. Sorry, wrong Lawson. He's like, oh, wait a second. I didn't tell him about Chang. How does he know about Chang? That's my buddy from college, in case you forgot.
So he starts dodging bullets somehow.
Yeah. What is going on?
At point blank. He starts dodging point blank bullets.
So then he regroups with Sarah and is like, all right, it's actually Deckham. Sorry, I thought it was the president. It's actually Deckham. Like, dude, can you come up with a theory that's got some evidence before you start doing things?
Yeah. And they're like, all right, well, we just need the key kill codes, right? And Max is like, well, unless you want to steal the president's fingers and eyes, we need him. And you're like, what? Don't even list that as an option. It's obviously not an option.
And she's like, fine, go get us a car and I will get the president. And then she just fires 2 shots like off into this, and everyone just freaks out. And then she calls the order and be like, let's get the president. We got gunfire, whatever.
She's like, attention everyone, there's a gunman, active shooter in the DNC. What?
Jesus Christ. And shot from the trailer, she grabs the president. She gets everyone. She knocks out the other guy. Hey, sorry about this, whatever. And she gets the president out to the garage, and he's like, what's going on here? And then we get to the self-driving Mercedes ad, and that'll come back, but it's hilarious. Yep. And then we got, this is like back and forth. So this whole section now is even more chaos. So we go back and forth.
Accelerating to the end.
Yeah, we go back and forth between 2 car rides, and then we got chaos going on. We got tornadoes in Dubai. We got extreme heat in Moscow. We got Harris giving Deckham there, giving a ton of exposition.
55 minutes until Geostorm.
He explains how he's like, oh, our man up in the space station. It's like, yeah, we know this. Like, why are you telling the driver? Why are you telling the guy who's your henchman? Gives a shit.
None of this matters.
Oh my god! And then Max debriefs the Prez on Deckham's plan. Yada yada yada. Seems extreme plan. Yada yada.
We see some more extreme weather here and there. Like it gets really hot in Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just a ton of exposition in the car. This is all this is. The car rides for exposition with bad accents. That's pretty much it. And then we get the joke about how you should marry her. Because she does some cool driving while cranes and lightning are chasing them, and it's absolute chaos going on right now.
It's not safe.
This movie is chaotic. This movie is just absolute chaos. And then she smashes into the guy who killed Chang. He's done.
Yep.
He gets smoked by some lightning. Cut back to the daughter. She's watching TV with mom. She's like, oh man, dad's up in space.
Yeah, well, mom's like, I can't get in touch with Jake. I don't know where he is. And she's like, he's not there. He's there.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, space. Got it.
Back to Dutch Boy. Everyone's evacuating. We're all getting out of here. And then we get to the end and Uta, Fassbinder there. Uta, thank you. She's like, come on, Jake, get on we got to go. And he's like, nah, I got to stay. No, I got to stay. And you got to reboot it manually. Everyone knows it's a manual thing. Obviously, it's got to be a manual thing, of course. And then she's like, well, don't forget, you got to insert it into the core manually. Like, what are these words? What is that?
Space station is stick.
And then she cries and she's like, okay, goodbye.
Well, smell ya.
Kind of. Yeah. And then he just runs off. And then we're back in Orlando. And then we got Deckham telling the whole thing about the sole survivor thing next to the president to his henchman. I'm like, why is he telling this to the henchman? The guy's like, dude, I don't care. I just want to go home.
then he's like, all right, yeah, take the president out with that RPG.
He pops up in the trunk and there's an RPG. Like, what?
Yeah, that's our second movie recently. In Craven, you're like random RPG sighting. You're like, why? Awesome.
So then we're like on this empty street, which is mind blowing because everyone's evacuating out of this geostorm. It's happening in Florida, but not here.
That's right.
It's like an empty road, and the self driving Mercedes comes out, and you're like, no one's in the car, obviously. The guy hits it with the RPG. Then I love how Ed Harris's character Deckham goes up to the car with his gun pulled. I'm like, dude, you just hit it square with an RPG. They're done. Get in the car.
There's no survivors in that car. Yeah,
no one's surviving that.
Yeah.
But they did. And somehow they snuck up on them in this weird open road area.
That's right.
Okay.
And he's like, Deckham's like, how? And he's like, I'm the president of the United States, motherfucker. Like, what? And then all of a sudden, like, infinite military and police would show up and like arrest him. And they're like, oh, okay, well,
it was
I'll solve that one.
It was like the end of like a Scooby-Doo episode, right? Damn kids, I would have gotten away with it. Weren't for you damn presidents.
Yeah, he's like, come on, Mr. President, you have to do this. And he's like, it's genocide, Leonard.
Yeah. And then we get the whole exposition from like Harris's reasoning for this. It's literally a Scooby-Doo ending. And he's just like explaining the whole thing. Well, God's going to choose this way, going full MAGA on this situation.
He's like, we're turning the clock back to 1945 when America was great. Like,
it's like, oh, man.
And then I love this. It made me my favorite line of the movie. Max is like, you know what my brother would say? And then just punches Deckham in the face.
What is happening?
And Sarah goes, that's my fiance.
Oh my God. Do. And then we cut to the old Emiratis here, right? Emiratis, right?
That's right.
We got a massive tidal wave coming in hot.
Yeah. For some reason. Like, okay, Geostorm.
You get stuff like that. And like
presumably hundreds of thousands of people die.
I was gonna say in the millions. I don't know. Like when that water comes through and just like takes out all these buildings, like, well, there goes probably 1 million people. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm no Emiratis expert, but
Emiratis. So then we're like, we come quickly back to Cape Canaveral, and the Prez he's back, and we're all there, and he's like, hey man, get those kill codes to Jake. Zoom call with Max and the Prez.
You mean my fingers?
Yeah. And I love how then Jake pops on and Max is like, hey Jake, it wasn't Deckham. It wasn't the president, you know? And he's like, I didn't say. It's like, I didn't say I wouldn't be wrong. Dude, you just accused the president of the United States of. I didn't say I wouldn't be wrong. This movie is, oh God. So yeah, how long is it going to take to upload this thing to do the thing, the biometric? 60 seconds. How much time you got to get out of there? He's like, about 8 minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
So plenty of time.
Give or take.
Yeah. And then they do a whole like, hey, Jake, the kill codes, they don't stop the self-destruct, do they? Jake's like, no. It only stops the geostorm.
So then they have a bro to bro, really heartfelt chat, you know, and they both realize their errors. They both say it out loud. They both exposition the whole thing, how they're feeling.
You were right. So bad.
You were right. I was wrong. Yada, yada, yada. Classic Hollywood
little
goodbye.
Bro. I was supposed to look after you, but you look after me.
Yeah. And then I love how like they finish this moment. It's like the music is going. It's really teary. And then Jake just turns around and starts running and the music kicks back in. All right. Transfer. Got to go.
Yeah, he literally just goes, see ya, kiddo, and then like runs away. Like,
transfer complete. Gotta go.
Time to Geostorm, 5 minutes. In case you were wondering.
So we're in wrap up town here, but this is absolute chaos wrap up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speed through some stuff here, but it is just chaos. So it's basically Jake, a space run, weightlessness through the space station, trying to get there. We're cutting back between that, the daughter worried, you know, he'll be back. He promised. He made a promise, right? We got Moscow getting lasered with heat things. We got Jake in a spacesuit all of a sudden.
Yeah, I was like, wait, where'd the laser come from?
Yeah, I was like, what is that? He gets to a door and his code is invalid. We're like, oh no. And all of a sudden, our German scientist lady, she shows up out of nowhere space. Like, where were you hiding? Why were you hiding?
Uta, what are you doing here? I told you, I live here, she says.
Well, not anymore. Your home's getting destroyed. We got Dubai is getting absolutely destroyed by tornadoes. We got NASA's we got a big time clock ticking away, right?
Yeah, 1 minute and 40 seconds till Geostorm.
And then Jake's uploading the kill codes or whatever. We got the Emirati's getting absolutely banged up by some tidal wave. We got
dusted, yeah.
Jake doing more mansplaining and German lady about how everything works. The kill codes, basically us, the audience. 20 seconds.
15 seconds.
Oh, 15 seconds, yeah. It's like, oh my God. Are we going to get it done in time? The kill codes, he's uploading. We got to kick off the manual reboot. Oh my goodness. Shuts down Dutch Boy. And then, Geostorm chances on the big screen. 0.
What?
Virus is gone, transferring net control back to NASA. They're all excited, but wait, what? There's more.
Then the space station explodes.
In the most ridiculous. So there's just fire explosions happening in space.
Yep. And like we get a bunch of meanwhile, we see like Max and Sarah like in whatever, some NASA control room, and they're like looking super sad. They're like, oh no.
All right. And then we're kind of outside and he's like, hey, German babe, do you believe in Hail Marys? And let's go. And they just fly across to go catch a satellite, I guess. And like, or another, I don't know.
I don't know. He's like, we got to get away as far away as we can before the final detonation. You're like, wait, that wasn't the final one yet?
Yeah. Like, so he gets to this thing and she's like zipping towards him. And like,
yep.
I think she's going to be at a certain speed where she would just destroy him when she hits him. Right?
Fly
like,
off into space. Yeah.
Like, that's it. We're done. Like, there's no. This is not.
Nope.
Ay. So then we're, and it's just funny because this is all going on, and somehow the rest of the world is watching this.
That's right.
And wait. What? And then like we cut to the hacker lady, and like, oh wait, no, I think I skipped a bit here, but. No, that's pretty much
Not
it.
Really, no.
Like the space station is absolutely toasting offline, and like
they get an alert that says self-destruct complete.
Yeah, and everyone's like all bummed there, and then we like weirdly cut to the hacker lady, Zazie Beetz' character, and she's like watching with her coworkers like on a monitor, like her like what?
That's right.
This isn't Game 7. Like,
wait, what's that?
Yeah.
Hey Max, take a look at this.
Yeah, you're not gonna believe it.
There's some kind of light here pulsing in a Mayday pattern. Let's see if we can get one of the shuttles active.
Is it a space station? Is it a plane? Is it a bird? What is it? It's Jake Larson.
It's Jake Larson. So we cut back to Jake, and he's on his like satellite, whatever emergency thing here, and he's like, "Hopefully, someone sees this."
Oh my God!
Who would possibly see this? But no, just in time, a shuttle comes to pick him up. It's the guy from Mexico.
Yep. Hola.
You son of a bitch. He literally says.
Donde está Jake Lawson?
Yeah, and then everyone at home is like,
yeah, the classic like cheering and NASA. Yeah, they did it. Like, how are you watching this?
How are you watching this?
Where are the cameras that are showing this? Like, how is this being televised? Like,
I don't know. And then it's like on the news because Hannah sees it too. Like
she's cheering.
You hear the newsman in the background like, a miracle indeed. What?
Oh my God. And then I love how so everyone's pumped, right? They're all cheering. Yeah. The tornadoes stop in Dubai. The tidal wave stops in Emiratis. And they shot of some kid who finds his dog. Like, what? It's like as if like AI was like, hey, show me happiness. Ooh, kid finding his dog. Done.
So dumb.
And then like the shuttle they're on just lands nice and safely. The crew's all home. Everyone's safe, right? We get the gang back together and like, thanks, news guy, for telling us that. Like, news guy's literally like, and everyone's home safe. Like, okay.
Yep. And then on the ground, we get Sarah introducing herself to Jake. Hey, Jake, I'm Sarah, Max's fiance. And he's like, welcome to the family.
Welcome.
What the fuck?
That's the thing you're going to bring up in this moment?
Yeah. And then he's like, sorry, I doubted you, Mr. President. Why is any of this happening?
And I love how his brother hugs him. He says, hey, good to have you back. Have you back? It wasn't like he went on vacation. Like, what do you mean? Good to have you back.
And that's when Jake's like, how many times do I have to tell you never to listen to me?
Pan up to the sky, pan back down, and then we're in Florida 6 months later. And we've got Jake Larson, his daughter, and Max hanging on the dock fishing. And yeah. And
he got his job back.
Yeah, we get a bunch of exposition again because this movie, that's what it does. And like, hey, I got my job back. I'll be going back up to space soon, you know? I'll be back.
When are you going back to space? In a week. Okay.
What?
And then they're like, fishing is so boring. This sucks.
And Jake and Max just leave his daughter there and like walk away. And then she does her voiceover about how they rebuilt the station. Exposition right to the end, to the very last minute of this movie is just all exposition. They rebuilt the station, made it stronger, and the big message, if we go together, we will survive.
As long as we remember that we share one future.
The end. And this is why people think climate change is not real.
Geostorm! So, do Jared and Russ ameliorate?
Yeah, I think we do that.
First of all, get somebody who's American. Get American actors to play Americans on this one.
Yeah. I think that's,
good place to start. Somebody who will memorize the lines.
Yeah, or just make sure no one does any goofy accents. Like, I love how they're probably like, the director's probably like, yeah, do an American accent. And they came up with their own and like, oh yeah, that's cool. That people will know that you're American because you're speaking in this New York, Boston mashup thing. No, don't do that.
Nope, don't do that.
Don't do that. Cut that.
You can cut a lot of the scenes from this and make it a tight hour and a half easy.
Yeah. Let's make this a real tight hour and a half.
Yeah.
Let's get someone who can maybe review the script, maybe like a Jennifer Garner for plot holes, because she loves doing that. Yeah. She's a plot police.
Yeah, punch it up.
Yeah, there's a little too much going on.
Way too much.
Do like just a fragment of research on all of these things, because it feels like he did none.
Yeah, make the villain simpler.
Yeah,
just make it the president.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be this extra convoluted thing. Yeah,
that's easier.
Yeah, it's much easier. What else? Oof. I mean, maybe make the relationship actually explore relationships here instead of just making them very one-dimensional. Build on those a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. You can cut out the love story. Cut out the love story between the brother and the girlfriend there. I know we needed her to get into the White House, do all that stuff, but we actually didn't. We don't really. You can find a simpler way to do that.
We totally don't need any of that.
Nope.
What else don't we need?
Most of it.
Yeah. Don't call it Dutch Boy.
My little Dutch boy. Yeah. That's a tough one because it's make the CG look better. 2017, $120 million budget. Didn't look good.
Yep.
2017 was a long time ago, but
not that long.
2017, we're heavy into Marvel movies, and those look a million times better.
Yep, that is all true.
Yeah, Jerry Brock must have come in and been like, "What am I working with here? Woof! I can't save this dog shit."
Oh boy. Yep.
I think the heavy-handed, obviously commentary about climate change, real thing. And the way you did this, it just feels like you're kind of laughing at it and you're making it a joke. So you're not really doing a service to the actual issue.
Focus on the facts. Yeah.
Yeah. And just, how about you make a disaster movie where it just actually there's no hero.
Right.
Just make it a doomsday actual, this is what's going to happen type of thing. And just make it smaller. Maybe make it about two brothers just trying to survive as this extreme stuff starts happening. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to make drive a point home, have everyone actually die from climate change. Show what's really going to happen.
Those.
Yeah, So
make it like Greenland.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but
much better. A much better movie.
Yeah, make it smaller. Make this movie smaller. It doesn't need to all this. We don't need 5 tornadoes in Dubai.
We sure don't.
No,
we sure don't.
Okay.
That's probably good enough.
Yeah, that's good. Let's reboot this satellite.
Self-destruct this satellite.
Oh, that's a better one. Let's self-destruct this episode. All right, thanks for listening. That's it. We're done. We'll be back next week with a new movie, Trailer Trash. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. Our social media team is gearing up for Q3, Q2, summertime.
Yeah. Business quarters, for sure.
Business quarters. That's how we work here. Subscribe where you listen to podcasts. Set us all to download, and if you'd like to show, tell a friend. Mm-hmm. Even if they're in space, send it to them.
Yeah, they have internet in space, I think.
They do. They got live TV cameras that you can stream what's happening.
Yeah, they have the technology. Yeah,
of course.
So write a review so they can read it up in space on like Apple or Spotify or wherever. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or if you're feeling old fashioned, you want to send us an email, you can. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website where we have merch and information about the show, t-shirts. Get a t-shirt. The best way to support us is a t-shirt, other than annoying me, Jared Dashaluka money. That'll split for us.
Oh,
yeah. Buy Russ's book Host. Speaking of giving us money, you can buy that wherever you buy books.
It's true. Truth.
But if you forgot everything we just said, just go to the website. It's thismeetsthat.com. Check it out.